Hello everyone, I'm Larry from Fix. Next is the course of camera itself repair. Let's take a look at the common fault problems of the camera. Then we look at what the camera will cause. Generally, divided into three kinds of problems: taking photos on clear, black spots, and black spot in photos, and black screen problems. First, let us know the problem of unclear photos. We simply refer to as out of focus and unclear. We can see that the focus is not clear here. Normally, it will automatically focus after one click. If it don't focus, you can't see the details. For example, the following is in focus, and above is blurry. There are some near focus and far focus, and the near focus and the far focus are the same failure to focus. Another problem in focusing is camera shaking. The camera shakes when taking pictures, which is also very common in daily maintenance. Then we look at the problems of black spots in the photos. If the photo taken has such black spots or white watermarks, this is also a problem with the camera itself. Then let's take a look at this black screen problem, which is simply called unable to open the camera. If you cannot open the camera, it is broken. If it breaks, it depends on what caused it. The cable is broken, the chip is broken, or other problems cause the phenomenon that the black screen and cannot be opened. If the back camera cannot be turned on, the flash will not turn on. Because they have the same power supply. If the camera is short-circuit, it can also cause it get hot. If it gets hot, we can generally judge that the chip is damaged. Next, we look at the camera picture. Another situation is that we have two lenses or more. Like this lens, their functions are separate. Let's take a look at this phone. There is by one button and by two buttons in camera. The by one button is one of our most common buttons. Then we click by two again. Our zoom is like this. Here is the big camera, left camera. Here is the small camera. We can look at the drawings. On the left is the big camera. On the right is the small camera. This camera is the camera we can use in daily life to take pictures and focus. This camera is the lens we need to zoom in more than twice. This is equivalent to a distant view of the portrait camera. Now it is by two. It hasn't played the role of switching small cameras. We can cover this little camera. When it is by two, it has not played the role of a small camera. Then if we zoom it again, we can see that the small camera is blocked. We basically use big camera in the process of taking pictures. Many times, by two cameras are rarely used, and you don't realize it if you don't care. We can switch to portrait mode. Switch to portrait mode is to use by two camera. So this is called a portrait camera for short. The portrait camera has no optical image stabilization, while the big camera has it before iPhone X. If one of the two cameras cannot be turned on, it can be changed separately. If it needs to be changed separately, generally case in the by two camera will not open. We can go to recycle or buy a broken camera on the market. By two cameras are generally good and can be replaced in the past. Changing the main camera will change the camera code, but changing the by two camera will not. Direct replacement of by two camera will not affect. The camera code will not be changed. The camera code is the main camera, and the replacement by two camera will not display the replacement record in the 3U tools. The code is bound to this camera. If it is damaged, it is the same as changing the entire camera. Therefore, in daily maintenance, it is basically impossible to repair by two. If the main camera cannot be turned on, the maintenance cost is very high, and it needs to be replaced as a whole. Then we can see that the two lenses have blue film. Enlarge the screen to see. The blue layer in front of the camera is what we refer to as blue light. When press it with your fingers or rub it on the ground, this blue light will be damaged. The absence of the blue light has a little effect on our actual camera imaging. The main reason is that the blue light requirements for selling camera are very high. Therefore, when reclaiming the lens, this candidate is blue and has good color. Then we look at the approximate structure of the camera. First of all, this layer is the blue light we just said. Then this is the lens. Let's take a look at the drawing of the lens. The layer above the lens is the blue light. Then this layer is composed of three parts: lens barrel, lens, and spacer ring. This is a whole replacement. This is just a component display of our detailed disassembly. But what we replace in an entire replacement, including the lens below. Then this is the Voice-Coil motor. It can play a focusing role and is the core component of the entire focusing part. Switch the screen. Let's take a look at the physical picture. This is the physical picture of the Voice-Coil motor. You can see that this is a very complicated internal structure. Let's shake. Focusing is on this as the core. Then this is the bracket of the base. The problem of the camera shaking is caused by the connection between the bracket and the Voice-Coil motor. Why many cameras cause shaking failure? Because it failed. The wire of the base bracket here looks more prominent, but it is actually just a silver wire. After falling, it is easy to be not soldering, loosening and missing. Then this is the reason of the camera shaking failure. You can see these 4 upright things. If there is a problem with the connection of the Voice-Coil motor above, will cause camera shake. Then we look at the real thing. This is one of our bases. We can see that there is such a small silver wire on the base. In fact, when we go to the actual operation, you can understand that there is a small silver line on it. The small silver wire is used to connect the base and the Voice-Coil motor. There are a total of 4 small silver lines here. Because there is a depth of field problem, the front is blurred. We can't see. In fact, you can see a silver wire at all 4 corners. Need to have 4 lines connected to the Voice-Coil motor to focus. Then we cut back to the structural drawing. Here is a lens glass, which is abbreviated as a filter. The professional term is called photosensitive chip. This thing causes black spots and watermarks on the lens. If there is anything enter here, we are going to take the camera apart. After disassembling, you can clean the inside. After cleaning, it can be used normally. Let's take a look at this filter. With these white dots on it, this one is used a long time. There is a dust in it. So I took pictures here. When taking pictures, in the process of focusing, something is blocked in the middle. There will be black spots and watermarks on the photos. Of course, there is dust here, and on the opposite side, we also need to be clean. There is dust on this side and dust on this side, and in turn we will know. Then you can understand this thing in actual operation. Then go to this driver chip. The driver chip is a core of the camera. If it is short circuit or hot, the camera is basically scraped. No way to fix. In the case of failure to open, which organization of the loose welding and loose cable can be repaired. If the chip itself is damaged, we are unable to repair it. Next to our output interface, which is the cable, Let's take a look at the physical picture. This is the structure of our cable. This is the driver chip we just said. This is our flat cable interface, mainly based on their contact points. This chip is not heat resistant, so be careful when blowing. Then look at the physical picture of the cable. This is the cable, which has a connection. This cable can be replaced separately. If the connection is poor or the cable is disconnected, the camera will not open. Then we need to replace. Only need to consider the cable problem in the camera cannot be turned on. Focus or shaking problem is not necessary to consider the cable. Next, we explain the disassembly process of the camera. First, you need to pry off the cover. This is the reverse side of the cover, used to cover the camera cable. Then this is the cover of the Voice-Coil motor. We need to disassemble this before we can do the next step. The cover needs to disassemble to repair the shaking. Then we can solder the 4 silver wires in it. It is not necessary to remove the cover if you repair, not focus, or change the blue light. This is the Voice-Coil motor. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4 are the places connected to the silver wire. 4 silver wires corresponding to the base. First, the second, the third, the fourth. If one or more of the 4 lines are loose, the camera no way to complete independent focusing. So it will shake, and the image taken is also a ghost. The line is connected to that place just now, which is that we have to solder this wire back with a soldering iron. Solder the 4 wires back with a soldering iron so that it can return to normal. For watermarks, use 530 contact cleaner with a clean cloth and cotton swab to wipe this. Here it is clear that there is dust. Wipe it off. This is an internal structure of the camera. These are capacitors. The probability of damage is relatively small. If it is opened to see that capacitors is black, then it is also a problem place cause that camera cannot be turned on. There are the chips in it. If the chip is broken, it won't be bad. This is the location of our welding cable, which will be in the following course. Take an iPhone X today for this course. On the left is the main camera, on the right is the sub camera. iPhone X 2 cameras by 1 by 2 are with optical image stabilization. How to judge if the camera is rebounded when this kind of optical anti-shake. Explain that there are 4 lines supporting. You can see that this blue light is a little bit scratched. if it needs a replacement for someone who sells camera. So today's class will teach you to replace this Blu-ray. What can be fixed by replacing the Blu-ray? The first one can fix out of focus. The second can fix far focus or near focus or blur. Can also be solved by replacing the blue light. The third can fix shaking, can also be solved by replacing the Blu-ray. Blu-ray is integrated. If you want to change the Blu-ray, you need to remove the old camera and replace it. Or you have to recycle the camera to install it. In this case, it will cost. So for shaking problem also has a zero cost method. I will teach you in the coming course. This is a simple and perfect method. Let's learn about replacing Blu-ray today. When we take a look at the camera, at this time we take the protective cover of the camera. Protect the lens when repairing the camera. There is glue on it. There is glue on the side. So the two cameras like this must be removed before we can repair it. So we first heat it. Switch screen. The temperature is adjusted to about 150. Then the camera heats up. It is not like this. Just put up the facade. Let it stand like this. We wait about 30 seconds. When it is heated, we take off this camera. Next, use the number 4 flat blade. You can pry off the camera. We can scratch this glue first. Then pry it gently. After prying, pry to this side. I pry a little and then change the side. Okay, this camera was also picked up by us. Pry here in the middle. This camera was turned up by us. We use these tweezers to clamp the camera. You can see there is glue on it. This is why we need to heat up. Tear off this glue. After removing this glue, you can remove this glue, in case it affects the focus. After removing it, we can apply some glue when we install it. Take off the camera first. Let's take a look at the removed camera. This is equivalent to a single camera. Remember to remove the glue next to it. Remove the glue. The glue has been removed on all four sides. In the next first step, we will learn how to disassemble. First, look at the camera. There is a small cover here. The first step is to remove this cover. The opening point cannot choose the place of this gap. The opening point should choose to open in such a place without gaps. Switch screen. This is an ordinary holder. The purpose is to hold the camera. As I said earlier, find a place without gaps. There is a gap like this. It is here. So choose to pry where there is no gap on the other side. Then we clip this camera. When we clip it, leave a gap in the blade to pry it like this. There is no requirements for the clip, just leave a gap to pry this cover. Next, use the air gun. The hot air gun is quick 861 dW. The temperature is 280 and the wind speed is 30. We are moving the glue like this. Don't blow it close. Across the distance, we can pry it in the position we just selected. Don't get too close. The blade is stuck in the gap. The blade should be tightened a little. Okay, this time the lid is opened. Take it off. This is our first step to remove the shell cover. Because there is white glue on it. So it needs temperature to melt. After taking it off, we look around. There are solder joints around the top. These solder joints are a function of connecting blue light. So we must first disassemble it. Please observe the pictures under the microscope. Because there is glue on it, the first step is to remove the glue. Remove the glue. Here, use a flat blade to shovel. After shoveling, you can clearly see the soldering joints above. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the soldering joint we need to remove later. The other sides also need to be cleaned, also using the number 4 flat blade. Okay, there is no glue on this side, no need to clean up. These are also our soldering joints. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take a closer look at these soldering joints. Our purpose is to remove these soldering joints. And then we can change the part of blue light. Next, use the holder. These are the 4 solder joints we just scraped out. 1, 2, 3, 4. We clamp the part of this iron frame with a clamp. As long as it doesn't shake, okay. Then take out our thin wire. This thin wire. Then look at the blade we use. Use this 4A model small flat blade. The purpose of using this blade is to pry the blue light part. First, the first step is to add some flux on the 4 solder joints. Then use a soldering iron, temperature 350. The temperature of the soldering iron is not very important, as long as it can melt. Then add some thin wire to the soldering iron. Then find the 4 soldering joints just now for desoldering. Drag back and forth. Then the blade prying here, because we can pry it when they melt. There is plastic layer on it. As long as it's not very hot, there is no problem. It is a little hotter. It is already a bit loose here. Over here. Okay, these 4 solder joints were scalded by our soldering iron. After ironing, let's braid it like this. At this time, you can see that our 4 points are connected. This is the part where our lens is connected to blue light. This part is our core imaging part. This part is responsible for focusing. Encounter focus problems, camera shaking problems, replace this can be solved. If you encounter problems with watermarks, black dots, just break apart like this. After breaking apart, use a cotton swab. Clean room 530 cleaner. Use 530 cleaner to spray onto a clean room. Wipe this mirror, and this mirror underneath, the mirror on both sides. This can clear the watermark. Washing watermarks and black spots is simple. This is how it can be installed after being disassembled and washed. Of course, I'm only a demonstration. In practice, you should check the dust on both sides under the microscope. Then cover it back like this. Add some flux. Next, put it under the microscope. This is the soldering joint we just welded. This is a plastic layer. Don't worry, it is useless for us. We shower it before loading. Mainly 4 solder joints. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 solder joints play a role in connecting it. After washing the watermark, black dots, we can put it back to achieve the cleaning effect. Then we take a look under the microscope. If we clean, we need to clean the mirror part. You can see there is a little dust. This may be a problem that caused the camera to have a watermark or black dots. Of course, what I use to demonstrate here is a camera without a watermark. So there is very little dust. Then turn over to see this side. This side is also dust. Dust is a problem that causes your camera with watermark. We will clean this dust. This watermark can achieve a repair effect. This is how watermark repairs work. Very simple. Next, learn how to remove the entire Blu-ray and put it back in. Then take out the protective cover. It is best to use this cover during repair to protect the blue light below. Then take a clean cotton and wrap the clean room on it. Then we use this cotton and 530 contact cleaner to clean it. Wipe off the dust. A smaller cotton swab can be used, which is more convenient. This larger one is blunt, not so well. Only cotton does not work. It is necessary to use clean room because cotton is silk. There is one more dust here. This cotton is too big to reach. Try not to use sharp things, otherwise it will hurt the lens. The size of this cotton is a little larger just now, and it can be wiped on the side. Wipe. So we cleared the dust. Although our tweezers are relatively small, but this is a very dangerous action. The tweezers may scratch the camera. Must avoid a very small cotton swab in order to replace such a cleaning effect. Okay, let's wipe it again. Observe this lens. This is already the effect of wiping. Cover it like this after wiping. Weld first and then shower. First, add some flux to weld the 4 points. Add some flux. Then solder joints with a soldering iron. Then deal with the solder joints. Don't let him come out. Then the 4 solder joints are welded back. Let's take a look at these solder joints and solder it back. After welding, use this blade to shower off the welding part. Shower. So that you can replace the lid. As long as this part is not prominent, this solves the problem of black spots and watermark in the camera. Next, if you encounter failures such as autofocus, shaking, and blue light scratches, we will remove the whole one and replace it with another. So what we are learning now is to disassemble the entire Blu-ray. Continue what we just did. At this time, we need to disassemble. Then after separating, we just use our fingers back and forth. So that the solder joints can be removed by us. Next, we look at the structure of the two. Okay, this is how we remove it. This is our core part. This can be opened as long as this camera part is installed separately. We don't need the lens above. The camera can be opened by installing this part alone. Just no image. Then we need to do the maintenance. In other words, if you need to fix the focus or shake, we're going to replace the both. Replace the both. How do we operate on this thing? First, shower it with an A4 blade. Like this are all glue next to them. Shower. Because it will cause you to install the blue light instability. It might hit your lens. So we have to use this blade to shower this glue. When showering, be careful not to shower the nearby chips and capacitors. Continue to shower. These soldering joints can also be showered directly. These are the soldering joints we just burned down. Also shower it flat. It is easier to install. Be careful of the small chips. The camera will not work if it was showered. To remove it from the glue, must be careful. First of all, because that is more dangerous. There is also glue here. Deal with it. The black layers of these glues can be clearly seen. Continue to shower. These soldering joints are also showered off, which is actually the extra thing we just made. This thin layer of glue like this is not afraid. You can leave it. Because it doesn't up the glue-like part. then deal with it here. Okay, now let's take a look at the effect after removing glue. Then we can use this blown ball. Clamp this and blow off the dirt on it. Okay, add some flux after blowing off. Take off the 4 solder joints here. Take it off and shovel a little outside. Help us to welding next time. Move the tin a little outside. In order to welding to be more convenient next time. Okay, we have to clean it after desoldering. It should be noted that you cannot use PCB washing water here, only 530 contact cleaner. Continue to use the cotton swab and clean clothes just now. Clean here, including the next part. After cleaning, clean the mirror lens. Clean the mirror lens. Okay, this is the clean mirror. You can take a look. This mirror is no longer gray. This is finished product, already considered the second half of the completion. If the shaking is replaced, it is also the shaking controlled in this part. Blu-ray is also in this section. So this thing includes blue light, shaking and autofocus. Those problems must be well after you change this part. So you can recycle bad cameras on the market as long as the blue light is good. Difference with this chip, it will short circuit and will not open. This is just for focusing. As long as the blue light is good, it can be recycled. Now this Blu-ray is not particularly perfect. Look, here is the Blu-ray layer. The brighter this layer when recycling, the better is the blue light. In this case, generally speaking, the recycled one will not be bad. After the bottom plate is processed, it can be put back. If you don't put it back, you don't need to do anything here. You can follow the steps just now to remove a section from a bad camera. Install the disassembled Blu-ray to the one we want to replace. We can make a good camera. This is a step for us to repair the camera. Next, let's fix the position first. If you want to install one side, you must clean both sides. There is a little glue on it. You need to scrape it off. This glue is relatively small. After this glue is processed, we continue to wipe the lens clean. After wiping it clean, take out the lower part, just process it. Then set the position. 4 solder joints here, 4 solder joints here. There is also one more solder joint next to it. This solder joint is useless, but can give us the right position. Let's take a look at the solder joints above and see where is right. Here to here, I saw. Let's take a look here. At this time, we have to like the solder joints above. In other words, the method can solve many problems. So it is very simple, much simpler than those that fix the cable. You guys use more old cameras to disassemble and learn more. Let's take a look at what we will use in this course. 530 and 398 contact cleaner, 460 glue, ceramic tweezers. Ceramic on this type of tweezers are also available, non-magnetic. Although you don't realize the importance of tweezers in this class. But in the next shaking course, you can appreciate how important this non-magnetic tweezers is. Then there are flux, thin wire, blowing balloons. When there is a little dust, you can blow it off with a blower, no need to wipe. Then there is a holder, as long as you can hold this thing is okay. Let's conclude by summarizing our lesson mainly about washing watermark and black dots. Washing the watermark and black dots is to wipe the dust on both sides of glass. As we have already mentioned it, this is the first. Then it can be used to repair the camera shaking problem. Shaking problem can be repaired in this way, but it requires a certain cost. Shaking and focusing. Blue light need to replace the upper part. In other words, the watermark and black dot does not need to be replaced. Just wipe the foreign object on it. In the next lesson, we will also talk about repairing the shaking failure in the first half without cost. Then this lesson is finished. I will see you in the next lesson. Bye.